Hey, y'all, and thanks for tuning in to the last episode, the finale of the Best Wingman Around. I'm your host, Julia Golub, and welcome to the vlog where it's just another day. It's just another wing vlog, except it never is. So I wanted to thank everybody that's been watching. And if you've been watching from the beginning, if this is your first episode, I invite you to watch some of the others. It's been really fun going on this journey, and essentially this started as a statement that I was making in regards to social justice initiatives lacking in the NFL for this past season. And as kind of a correlative, I decided to go and try all of the best wings in the Oakland area where I've been spending COVID and have some great guests, some great conversation as it pertains to wings and all sorts of things. And I'd like to, again, thank all of my guests, wish everyone that's watching this a happy, blessings filled new year 2021. Lord knows 2020 was really something. I encourage everybody to reflect upon what that means as it pertains to social justice, as it pertains to any other things that, I know that for myself, reflection has been one of the big things. So I've kind of been able to think about what actually matters, what's important in my life and what isn't, and really enter 2021 with a fresh mindset, knowing in full faith that it's going to be the best one yet. So cheers, happy new year, and without further ado, let's just get right into the episode. Hey, Mark.
Hey.
How are you? Thank you for joining us on the Best Wingman Around final episode. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on the final episode. I feel like there's a lot of pressure around that too.
I mean, it's the final episode. It's, the final couple of days of 2020. Let's just, let's go with a bang, right? Yeah. Okay, great. So what we're going to just kick off with right off the bat is the wingtro. 3 questions, 1 sentence answer each.
Okay.
Question number 1. What makes you the resident wing expert for today?
I feel like I've been eating wings my whole life. I feel like I came out of the womb with a wing in my hand, and I just love wings.
That is exactly the type of passion for wings that we're looking for on this show. So, number 2, what is your favorite thing about wings?
Very good question. I think it makes us human.
Say more.
Because unless you're a weirdo, no one eats wings with a spoon and a fork. We all eat with our hands.
You know what? I feel like Donald Trump probably does the same way that he eats Sbarro with
Again, he eats Sbarro. Like, what is that?
There's so many. You could say what the fuck. It's fine.
Yeah.
We swear here. Yeah. So absolutely right. Go on. I'm so intrigued.
So, and when you're eating a wing, no one's eating dainty again, unless you're a weirdo, because if you were so worried about how you looked, you would have ordered wings to begin with, right? So I think when there's people around a table, especially like around an event, when wings are usually had, we're just human. We're just digging at it. We're going back to our primal place as human beings.
I love that. I love that answer. I completely agree. I feel like it's it's an environment in which you are yourself.
Down. Right.
Yes.
Your guard is down.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly. Why I feel like for me, a good first date is if I can take a girl to a place like that, or even like a crab boil or something. You know what I mean? And they're like, the girl is not embarrassed to get down and just get dirty with it. That to me is a good sign.
Well, you know what? I'm so glad that you brought that up because it's not question number 3. But it does bring up, I have had this conversation with friends before. And apparently there's certain gentlemen that for whom it's a deal breaker if they go out with a girl and she eats wings.
What?
I know. I was shocked. I honestly was like, number one, if I want wings, I'm gonna get wings. Like,
For sure.
you know what I mean? And like number two, I mean, look, I'm also not, it is still a date. And like, especially if there's like your friends around, like the gentleman's friends, I would of course be certain to get something where like I'm not, making an embarrassing mess of myself.
Oh.
But I also like if I'm at a sports bar and everybody's eating wings and I'm with my man, I sure as shit am not expecting him to like be watching me as I like watching me around the apps. You know what I mean? Like that's not a
Right.
relationship I'm interested in being
Of
in.
course. But like also like I think the truth comes out into whatever mess you might have made during a date. How you react to that mess is where I see like, oh, she's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's all based on like your reaction to whatever the mistake or mess is.
Yeah. I mean, I think that we all have mess. I think 2020 has certainly showed us that. And I do think that it's really important. And for me, as the other person on the other side, like if I made a mess, if I like broke, like what if I break a wine glass or something like that? Like, how do you react to it? Like,
Right.
if you can't like roll with
Yeah.
a broken wine glass or like me having wing sauce on my face, like what about the actual shit that takes place in life?
Right.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Um, Great. I love that answer so much. And then number three, do you consider wings to be an appetizer or a full meal?
Oh, that's a good question. My answer is it depends on how many wings you're eating.
I mean, the limit does not exist, Mark. Okay. The limit
It's a
does
meal.
not
Let it be a
exist.
feast. It's probably the Last Supper in my book.
Okay. I mean, I love that too.
But if it was like a five, like if it was served to me and there's only
Mhm.
five on a plate, then it's an appetizer.
Obviously. Yeah. What
But
are you
like if
doing
I
five
want it
bucks?
to be my meal, then it's gonna be my meal. So I'll order 30 of those five plates. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think that, yeah, that's great. It totally depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, when, yeah, I think I really just am still hung up on your answer about wings making us human because
It
I
is,
feel
right?
like, yeah, because honestly, I feel like, you know, not again to keep bringing back to like the things that we learned in 2020, but I think given the fact that tomorrow is New Year's Eve, it's just it's on everybody's mind.
Yeah.
Um, I feel everyone, celebrity, billionaire, everybody, like kind of. I mean, of course, certain people suffered more, but like it really was a common denominator. Like even if you were Oprah, like you were stuck in your house, and people had a lot of time to think about
Mhm.
what matters and about like what is just like is the common thread between us all as humans.
Yeah. I mean, like, obviously, like, first of all, like, what 2020 has taught me is that, like, the saying that time isn't real is, like, so true, right? Like,
Mhm.
unless someone said, like, if you didn't say to me earlier today that, like, tomorrow's New Year's Eve, I would not have known any different. I would have
Yeah.
rolled into 2021 not knowing it was 2021. You know what I mean? And so, like, what's crazy to me is that like this is a once in a lifetime, like once in 100 like years that people all around the world will experience the same exact
Mhm.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Usually it's
Mhm.
a disaster like a Hurricane Sandy or the wildfires or like explosions going off and war, like, but that's like local, right?
Mhm.
Those people are experiencing it.
Even 9/11.
Even 9/11, right? That's local to technically New Yorkers and the United States,
Yeah.
right? But this is the one time where everyone around the world was stuck inside,
Yeah.
right? And so for me, what the disappointment is that our leaders in every single country could not come together and be like, hey, for the world, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I always thought, my first thought in the first couple of months was like, why don't we just stop everything? Why don't we just pause?
Well, a lot of
Like,
countries did.
well, I mean, like in like a broader sense, like in terms of like economy, right?
Hmm.
Why don't we just all say, hey, no one loses, no one gains, no one moves forward. Everyone just stops where they are,
Hmm.
and just help each other until this is over. And then once it's back on, then we continue. You know what I mean? Like just pause life. Like
Yeah.
why can't everyone come together and do that?
I think that that goes back to us having a supposedly free market society,
Yeah.
and people who like to think that it's egalitarian, and I mean that's obviously a deeper topic,
Yeah. Probably too deep for now.
but I I do think that this equalized us to some extent in terms of this country, because but still, of course, and I certainly don't want to forego mentioning that those of us who were already those Americans that were already doing not the best were the ones
Right,
who were hit the hardest, and that's
right.
unfortunate, and that's where it's really disappointing because a lot of other countries in Europe,
Mhm.
and people and other countries all did this in various degrees, but some countries literally were like, stay at home, don't work, we got you.
Right. And
Here's
that's what we're
money.
doing now. Right.
Here's your actual paycheck. Not here's like a sliver of, money that you wouldn't even be able to pay your rent on no matter where you live.
Mhm.
And even if, and I mean, for those of us who chose to live like I did in the most expensive place in America, and where you lived, and that cost of living here, and it's like, yeah, I chose to live here when I had a paycheck.
Right.
So I chose to live here, and at that time I could afford it, and I was
Right.
great. So like, it's not like I'm being punished as much as anybody else is, because you either can pay your rent or you can't.
Right.
You're not like making incremental rent
Right. It
payments.
doesn't matter how much the rent is. You either can or you
No,
can't.
you either can or yeah, as well. Yeah. So it's just like, and obviously rent is the biggest expense, housing is the biggest expense.
Mhm.
So, it obviously puts into, and then I do love the fact personally that it really put into question for all humans. But again, with a focus on America, what work looks like what
Right.
remote work looks like,
Yeah.
and people don't need to be babysat to do their fully
Yeah.
digital jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fully
But I
digital.
also think on the other end of that, people had to prove that they could be trusted because then they wouldn't have a
A
job,
thousand percent. A
right?
thousand percent.
It's a different circumstance because if it wasn't that, then people would totally slack off if they're at home. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I'm
No,
home
no,
with that.
I
I'm not always on, but in this situation, I would always be on.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah, we had to prove that we can have nice things before we could have
Yeah,
nice things.
exactly.
But I mean, I think people also proved at the same time that they couldn't be trusted, like with staying at home and just like not doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like stop doing dumb shit. And then,
Right.
and then having Gavin Newsom be like, okay, never mind, LA. We can't have nice things. Why is everyone going to the movies in COVID? Stop it.
A whole place to go to. Like, why in like that kind of enclosed situation?
So people feel differently about this. I know that they do. Other people feel completely differently. But for me, I use this as an example all the time. So people have heard me say this a lot, but
Mhm.
I use the movies because that is one thing that I can categorically say. If somebody said to me, you can't ever go to the movies again, cool with it. Don't need to. And I will say that it's not like if somebody said to me, you can't skydive anymore, like cool, never
Right,
wanted
right,
to.
right, right.
Well, actually do want to skydive. Don't want to bungee jump. Do not.
Yeah, that's
Why?
great.
I feel like skydiving is you're so high that it's like not real. You know what I mean? Like you're so high up there that like when you look down, it's like you're not like, oh, there's my imminent death.
Well, see, the way
Or
I see it is that like skydiving, there's room for error, right? Like there's some time to be like, oh shit, my parachute,
um
I have to pull something because like by the time you realize there's an error with a bungee cord, you're already dead,
right, but
right? When you're
but
skydiving from that high up, there's so much time before you have to land that like if something goes wrong in the midst of it, you have a way to figure it out. Radio to somebody, whatever the case is, right?
I guess yes. I do see that point of it. I never thought of it that way. For me, the thing that's also completely unattractive in bungee, and that isn't even also one that I thought of, what you just said, is that what it is, the value of it, like the climax is I'm plummeting to my death. And it's like, here it is, never mind. And it's like, I don't want that feeling. Like I have an exciting enough life. Well, maybe not this year, but I literally do not need to plummet to my death in order to feel something.
Right.
You know, like give me some, I mean, I'll just take some drugs or something. Like, I don't know. I don't need to plummet to my death. Yeah. So, and again, like I did, back to the movies example though, like I used to be that person that was obsessed with those, you know, those like new, newer, like luxury movie theaters where the seats are comfortable.
We talked about this the other day.
Yes, we did. Yeah. You know, where you can sit on a couch and and the bartender has a really nice pour.
Is that you? You're a doorbell?
No, was that you?
Not me? Who rings the doorbell nowadays?
I have no idea.
Is that me?
Well, it wasn't me.
You sure?
Well, yeah, my dogs would be freaking out.
All right, hold on. Be right back.
Yeah.
Did you order me wings?
So, surprise.
What?
You know how normally I am the one eating the wings and then you would be asking me questions. I figured that we would flip the script and you would eat wings and I would ask the questions.
I'm not mad at that because I think I told you when I first saw your videos, I was like, that's kind of torture for the other person.
Yeah, especially if
eat the wings also.
Yeah.
But you don't have wings.
I don't have wings because nowhere would deliver to me. So I don't know if that's, I mean, I don't, apparently whatever's going on in Long Beach couldn't possibly go on here. And I
just. Long Beach is also Long Beach. Like it's very different here.
Is it more lax?
It is. I mean, especially the part where I live, I'm a little bit fortunate, but like when I walk out in the mornings or even in the afternoons, like maybe like more around like the summertime, but like there are people out on the water with their boats, jet skis, paddleboarding. Like it does not look like there's anything happening over here.
Well, I feel there's also people actually on the water because I live by the water as well. Yeah. So those people are still doing their thing but those things are like.
But like the vibe, it doesn't feel like there's anything happening. If I go into LA, like you feel like it's shut down. Here,
yes.
Like,
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I feel like super urban cities have been just hit the hardest. Like I hear that New York is a ghost town.
Oh yeah. Like SF before I moved down, it was a ghost town.
Yeah, it's I mean SF is a ghost town completely. Like I haven't been there. I mean, I have no reason to go into SF whatsoever. But I hadn't been there since I went to the dentist not that long ago. And love the dentist. Gotta do it though. You know how sometimes you talk to people and they're like, oh, like I don't go. I'm very vigilant about it. You don't go? Oh my God, Mark, you have to go. You don't listen, the dentist is like,
I mean, I get it.
Like it's just like the doctor, like you want to go so that you don't have to go. Like you don't.
Yeah, I think, well, that's a whole nother story because I don't believe in doctors, but I will say more so for dentistry than doctors. I think there's more of an argument to say you definitely want to go to the dentist more often than you go to the doctor because that can lead to so many different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yes. Your teeth are like the health center of your body. Yeah. It affects your heart. A lot of people don't think about that.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't want to talk too much about heart health as you're about to eat wings.
So am I into these wings?
So, can you tell everyone where the wings are from?
Oh yeah. So these are from Rance's Chicago Pizza,
Okay.
which is down the street from me, a really famous spot. But they are famously known for their wings
Okay.
because, so like yourself, I'm from the East Coast, so I am a pizza snob. Okay,
Absolutely.
I admit I'm not a snob for some other things, but pizza and bagels.
Oh my God. Yes. 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 Yes.
Because if it's not from New York or Jersey or anything on the East Coast, I'm not having it. Okay, but Chicago pizza is different. So when I saw this, because I'm new to Long Beach, so when I saw Rance's Chicago pizza, I was like, okay, I'll try that spot if and when I can.
Hmm.
But if it said Rance's New York pizza, no way in hell would I even come close to it. I wouldn't
Right.
even try. You know
You
what I mean?
know, I do get that. And so I was fortunate enough. I went to college in Ann Arbor, and they actually had it was called NYPD, New York Pizza Depot, and
Uh-huh.
they actually did slice pizza like New York style, like
Okay.
that type, really well.
But see, that's
So,
different because I feel like, so they say the common denominator, specifically between California and New York, is the water. And I
hmm
believe that so much now.
hmm
Having been here, because even when I didn't live in California, I'd be like, that's just pizza snobs. Like, it
yeah,
can't be that bad. And then I've had pizza, I'm like, wow, that's garbage. Even the bagels are not bagels, it's just bread. Like, don't call
yeah,
it a bagel, call it bread. Call it
I
like a hole in the middle.
so bagels, I actually have not had since I moved here.
Oh, well, I have had, but I don't eat them with the expectation of it being a bagel.
Sure.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because
I
there's some, to me, it's just good bread.
well,
Like, it's
I
not a good bagel.
yeah. Yeah.
That makes
I'm
sense.
a pizza snob, obviously, but I love bagels.
Yeah.
And actually Vosti, who you obviously know,
Uh,
she and I, when we were in Miami, there was a truck. And I've heard that there's a truck in LA that's good.
a pizza
That you
truck?
should no, bagel.
Oh, bagel truck. There's I've heard some good, because there's some like good Jewish delis.
Yeah. You gotta go there.
Yeah,
You
I
gotta do
haven't
that.
tried it, so I will try. I'm not like never gonna try it. I usually will try a pizza joint if I'm with other people,
Yeah.
not on my own, like a willful choice.
Yeah.
Especially if it says anything
New
like
like
New
New
York
York,
style.
yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do that to me. Okay.
Don't do that.
So what
So that,
I,
God,
as far as pizza is concerned, and then we're gonna get to wings imminently because they're in front of you and I'm sure you can smell them. The pizza though concept, what I've found since leaving New York is that I now only will get like the wood fire style pizza because
okay,
that's not something that somebody's trying to replicate New York. Like
right,
that's a
right.
different way of making, and I love that too.
It's almost like a flatbread.
Well, I mean, I actually love that, and the best
Yeah.
pizza I've ever had, better than New York, and I am happy to. I don't know if that, the same way that I got you wings, I'm gonna fly you to Miami, but I'm happy to meet you in Miami because there is this place called O Munacello. And it
Okay.
is like legit Italian people
Okay.
making pizzas in like the like that type of oven.
Right, right. But see,
And
again, like I can believe that because one, it's Florida, right? And that's where all of the old people from the Northeast go to retire, right? So I for 100%, and I think the water is
mhm,
different there too. So I can believe that. But like I think the only time that's just not good so far, and I can only speak for California because that's where
yeah,
I've had it, is just it's California. There's no good pizza here, and
yeah.
there's good enough, and I've had one or two. We're like okay, but like I wouldn't call it really good.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel the same way. There's one place actually. I had a friend over, and she and I were gonna order pizza last night, and there was this like awesome wood fire place in Berkeley that we order from, Lucia's, and they were closed for the holidays. It's like, number one, are you not trying to turn a profit? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but
But
see, like
then,
even at that point, like if I'm ordering pizza, I'd rather just go with Domino's or pizza because, like, to
oh
me,
no,
that's not pizza. It's just Domino's and it's pizza. Like
no,
I
no,
don't
no.
categorize it in pizza.
I mean, I don't, right, but we were gonna get pizza, and then at that point we're like, we're not even gonna get pizza because I don't want to get some like I have made the mistake before of just like rolling the dice where it
Mhm.
wasn't that type of place. and they were trying to be a New York pizza, and it was just not a successful endeavor. I
Mm,
mean, Mark, did I eat it? Yeah,
of
but that's
course.
just because it's just because I'm not a quitter. So, with that said, the wings. Tell us
So
about
yeah,
them. What kind of wings
so
do we have here? What's going on?
so they're let me see if I can bring this up to
Beautiful.
they look
Love it.
good. I'll hold
They
one
look
up.
like there's a rub on there. What flavor
Yeah,
is
so
that?
it's I believe it said Thai maple bacon.
Ooh, saucy.
And they're world famous for it. So they have barbecue sauce, Thai maple bacon, and something else. I forgot what it was.
Buffalo.
Buffalo, yes. And it came with blue cheese, and
Okay.
it smells fucking good. And it's a
Awesome.
good size wing too. Like you know how sometimes, like obviously chicken come in all sizes, right?
Sure.
So there's
Mhm.
different kinds of wings, but like the wings that I can't stand are like frozen wings, like really bad frozen wings, where like
Mhm.
it's a small wing, but it's like full of like gelatinous crap on it.
Yeah.
It's like what?
Texture.
Yeah, what is that? And like
Yeah.
I'm I'm not picky when it comes to food. I'll eat the gelatinous, but like when all of the chicken wings are just nothing but that, it's like what is that? Like what did you?
Well, so wings have the highest skin to meat ratio of all
Mhm,
parts of the chicken. And
mhm,
I feel like that piece of it, the crispiness, like the texture, for
mhm,
me is the number one thing. Like if the texture is disgusting, like
for
again,
sure.
I'm not a quitter. I will eat anything. But I will eat anything once and then I'll keep eating it with the
Yep.
hopes that it's going to become good. I don't know what that is.
I
And
am
maybe
the
it's the
same way.
immigrant in me. Like I
The
don't
one
know.
time I was eating something with my sister, and I was like, "This is terrible," and I kept eating it. She goes, "Then why are you
Yeah.
still eating?" I was like, "I don't know, because I
It's
don't
just,
eat food."
I just like, I know. I'm like, why do I like this? But
Yeah,
you just keep eating it because it's there.
yeah. All right, I'm
All
gonna
right.
take a bite of
Yes,
this.
please do.
That's good.
All right. Tell us all about it.
There's a lot of flavor.
Okay. Is it spicy?
There's like, this is really complex, actually. Hold on.
Okay.
Maybe I'm very humid right now. Okay, so at first you get hit. It's sweet.
Ooh, okay.
First,
I
it's
like
sweet,
that.
and then comes in a little smokiness,
Okay.
and then you start to taste the peppers, and then you get that kick. Not spicy, or like but like it's a pepper kick, like
Yes.
black peppers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Left. I like that.
There's a good crunch to it. The white meat is juicy. It's a good wing.
That's good. I'm glad.
This is
I'm
delicious. Thank you
glad.
very much.
No, it also sounds of you're first of all absolutely welcome. And
Uh-huh.
then I'm glad that we got to talk about a complex wing flavor like that because
Yeah.
I feel like I've never heard of that flavor. So I felt like that would be something cool for you to talk about.
Mhm.
Because I mean, listen, I love buffalo. The one thing the one thing that makes me upset about shopping at Trader Joe's, the one thing, the only thing,
Uh,
is that there's no Franks and they don't have anything white label that resembles Franks.
no, well, yes, you're right about that. But actually, and I discovered this recently, is their chili pepper sauce is one of my favorite hot sauces.
Is it this one?
Let me see.
Because I've tried all of them and this is the one.
No, but that one's good too.
This is my favorite. Which one are you talking about?
I ran out of it the other day, but
That's okay.
it's the one with like an island guy in the front, and it says chili pepper.
Okay.
So
I don't know if I've had that.
it's on the same level as Frank's in terms of like heat,
Okay.
but it has more of a good smoky flavor to it, and I actually like it more than Frank's. And it's
Okay.
just mad it doesn't come like in a bigger bottle because I could finish that in like 2 days.
Yeah, I go through these like on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
That jalapeno hot sauce is so great on pizza, actually. Well, I'll eat the one pizza I'll always eat is Trader Joe's frozen. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. That's a
I forgot
winner
that
right
that's in
there.
here too. I'm telling you, there's a lot of complex flavors in here. Next time you're
What
down here, we should have this.
what is the other thing that you just mentioned?
The sweet part of this,
Mhm.
there's like some sweet onions on this thing.
Oh,
And caramelized.
nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of flavor. Next time you're down here, we have to go here again.
I definitely will be down there soon.
And now I
Uh,
feel bad that I'm eating wings and you're not.
Listen, no one feels worse about the fact that I'm not eating wings than me, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay
I'm
with
very
it.
grateful for it.
In fact, no, I thought it would be really fun for somebody else to describe wings, and but I actually am glad that I didn't order them, because now I want them more and I'm going to get them for dinner. But because honestly, if we're being transparent, the last time I had wings, I was like, I love this, but like I'm kind of over meat right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's something you can't have all the time, or at least like not the same type of flavor all the time.
Right.
But here's a
Right.
question for you about wings.
Hmm.
I won't do it on video because I'll be here forever. But do you eat everything off the bone, or do you leave meat on the bone?
There's like a scale, there's like those pictures. I am
Okay.
like, everything is gone.
Okay.
Everything is gone.
So even like the cartilage,
Well, wings I feel like don't have as much cartilage. Like I
like
don't eat, I mean, of the little, the little
the little
tip,
end parts, tendons.
that stuff like it depends, again, it depends, like if it's a great wing,
Mhm.
and also if there's like five, then I like if there are more, I
Right.
tend to leave more
Okay.
on the bone.
Yeah.
That is a great question. What do you do?
I clean.
Everything, yeah.
Clean.
Clean.
And
Clean as a
here-
whistle.
here's what some people might get a little, might be like, okay, Mark, that's a little too much. But if the wing is crispy and I can eat some of the bone, I'll eat some of the bone.
Of the little tip thing?
I mean, as much crispiness that there is that allows me where like I'm not just chewing and gnawing, where it just crunches right off, I'll eat it.
I don't think that that's too much at all for a wing vlog. I think that's
No,
just the right amount.
right? And
Um,
I think there's a lot of nutrition in the bone. Like the collagen is there.
yeah.
Like there's a lot of good stuff there that like I feel like that we've become too good to eat.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're both from foreign families. Like I grew up eating all of everything. Like,
Mhm.
so that's why, like, to me, number one, I'll always try anything, because there's really no weird texture that like I haven't tried,
Yeah.
and or has been like a part of my upbringing. Okay,
Mhm.
my favorite story. So like um when so Russian people, like, obviously caviar, and I mean there is fancy ass caviar. Obviously that's not what I was eating like growing up every day, but like we caviar like y'all eat Cheerios. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all the time.
Yeah.
And so I remember going to Paris, and we were there with an agency that we were working with as a work trip.
Okay.
And that I just like that I really couldn't stand them.
Uh-huh.
But
Hmm.
um, and it was like an inner, this is the first time we were meeting in person. And I had this like gut, just not pleasant feeling.
Okay.
And we went out to like get it was like late, so it wasn't dinner, but it was like we were drinking and whatever. And like getting apps and stuff.
Mhm.
And the like we were with a gentleman who ordered like a caviar like setup. And this
Okay.
girl, and after it's coming, and this girl looks at me, she's like, "Do you even know about caviar?" And
What?
I'm like, "Karen, I'm Russian. You don't know about caviar, okay? Don't make me punch you across the table." Her
Right.
name, by the way, wasn't Karen.
Huh.
But like that's the kind of person it was. Like I'm like,
Right.
"Bro,
Right.
like if you want to school me about something,
Yeah.
this ain't gonna be it."
Right. You're like, I know caviar.
Yeah.
You know caviar. I know
Yeah.
caviar. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, it was just too funny. You know what I miss?
Mm.
Work trips. Work trips.
Yeah. Ooh. What was the last road trip I had? I felt the last road trip I had was maybe 2 years ago. It was a good one.
Really?
Yeah. I got flown out to London for 2 weeks.
Oh, that's a great trip.
Yeah. That was great. And it was cool because like it was my first time to London. First time to
Yeah.
Europe, actually. Um, And it was cool because I got an Airbnb, like a 2-minute walk from the
Mm-hmm.
office in Shoreditch. And because I was working, like walking to work, and all, it felt like I was like really feeling the lifestyle of what it felt like to live there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
not a
that's
tourist, but like
cute.
what it really felt like to live there. So it was really cool.
I love
That's like
that.
the last work trip I had.
Mine was actually to Durham, North Carolina.
Oh,
Um, and my client used to be Burt's Bees,
okay.
and they're headquartered there. But
Mm-hmm.
what's also wonderful, and I mean, I loved that team of people, and their office is beautiful. It was so cold. It was actually a blizzard. We were there in February. It's mayhem to think of the fact that it was this year. But yeah, and we almost got stuck there
Wow.
because there was a blizzard. But also one of my best friends lives there. And actually we went to a pizza place, like one of those wood-fired type pizza
Okay.
places. Otherwise, like I would not be frequenting a pizza place in Durham, North Carolina necessarily. When there for one night.
Uh-huh.
And what they had there, the pizza was great. That's not the point though. What they had there that I have appropriated into my life, and I'm not drinking now, but I might make it afterwards, is they had Aperol margaritas. So
Oh,
mind blown. So, okay, one of the things, one of the
I
things,
don't wrap my mind around that.
well, let me explain. So, like one of
Yeah.
the things that and by the way, you can use Campari, obviously, but anyway,
Mhm.
one of the things that I've definitely perfected in COVID is my bartending skills.
Okay.
I fancy myself a bartender. You got to experience some of it
Yes.
on Christmas.
Mhm.
But that's actually a really complicated thing that I was making there.
The
The
French.
French 75, like in the carafe, like when you're not mixing it one by one. But that's the only way to do it with champagne. Otherwise, the bubbles, like otherwise
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right. Right. I
When
mean,
we
it did
got
its
back,
job.
I'm sorry,
It did its job.
it really did. And I gotta tell, because when I looked at the bottle of Janet Vossi's, I was like, oh my God, there was like this much left. And then I was like, oh, I made 2 batches. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was like, what did I do to everyone?
Uh-huh.
But anyway, so this, I make margaritas from scratch, as everyone should. PSA,
Yeah.
everyone should make margaritas from scratch
Right.
because all you need to do is take half a lime, take your tequila. If you're not going to use a flavor, use Contro. If
Mhm.
you're if you need to be a little bit more simple, use triple sec, fine. I don't even like using those things because I like to add flavor to my margaritas anyway. And then like I make one that with watermelon juice, but so then you don't have to add that sweet.
Right.
But this, like the Campari or the Aperol, has that sweetness that you need.
Right.
So that's it. Half a lime, your 2 ounces
Mhm.
of tequila, and then 1 ounce of the Campari. Or if you really like it, you can use 2. I mean, whatever. And you shake it, and that's it.
Yep.
And it,
That's
it has like also kind of like a refreshing flavor to it too with that Aperol.
because of the lime.
Well, of course, the lime. And by the way, the lime is easy to forget. Like once you've had a few, don't forget the lime because it,
Well, at that point, there's not even need to like you just drink the tequila at
well,
that
at
point.
that point, just pour it all into your mouth and like shake your
Okay.
head.
Mhm.
No,
It's
the one thing that I have not done is take shots alone because that seems a little bit
Yeah.
excessive.
I mean, if you're gonna take shots alone, just pour it in a regular glass and then just
And
drink
then
it.
just
Oh,
drink it is what
yeah,
you're saying.
don't shot. Drink
So
it in
then
a bowl.
I have taken shots alone because I have started drinking tequila on the rocks
Okay.
because sometimes I don't have the things that I just mentioned.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, but you got to have a nice tequila for that.
So what kind of tequila do you like?
Great question. I like a Crystal Añejo.
Okay.
And I actually, so I know I'm Don Julia. And so if you want to get me Don Julio, anyone, I'm happy. They actually have in Trader Joe's Don Julio Crystal Añejo. So
Oh,
it's yeah. So that's actually, that was a mind blowing. I was like, wow, Trader Joe's, you're really stepping it up.
they read your mind.
They really did. I
Yeah.
actually discovered it there, if we're being honest.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know that that existed.
Right.
But then they also have the Herradura crystal añejo as well.
Mhm.
But I was doing a survey of those who know tequila, and people said like, let's $200 options aside, what is your favorite tequila? And several people all came up with the answer Mastro Dobel.
Really?
Yeah. And they have a
Interesting.
crystal, the Diamante.
Where are these people from that answered this question?
One of them is Liliana, and she's from Mexico.
Okay.
And
That's important. You know, it's important context for these types of questions.
I like where your head's at. In fact, I love where your head's at.
If you asked people what is the best pizza in the world, and the people that you asked were from Montana, I wouldn't trust your survey.
I also wouldn't bring up the opinions of people who were not connoisseurs, if you
Exactly.
will. I would only bring up the opinions of connoisseurs, such as
Exactly.
myself,
Yeah.
you know? So I feel like I do trust. And it was also like her boyfriend's, I would consider him a connoisseur, even though he's not Mexican. He has I don't know if we mentioned this, we were talking about this because it happened the day that we saw you. We went to their house before Wendy's. He has a whiskey collection like nothing I've ever seen.
Oh, right.
Like nothing I've ever seen. So I mean, I just trust his judgment in terms of worldliness and alcohol consumption. Um, so yeah, and I
want
smoked
my last wing, by the way.
Oh my God, wow.
And I'm sad that I'm on my last wing. Almost as sad as that this is the last episode.
I know. Well, we'll have to get actual wings in real life, and we can get those wings when I come down to LA next. But yeah, I mean, I should ask the question back. What's your favorite tequila?
I don't have a favorite tequila yet. And so here's my evolution of alcohol in 3 sentences or less. First time getting drunk was a red Solo cup filled with Jack Daniels.
Oh Lord, okay.
Splash of Coke.
Oh, a splash of Coke.
Splash of Coke. We, as a group of young prepubescent boys, decided it was smart to chug that red Solo cup with a splash of Coke and filled with Jack Daniels. I think it was probably like 30 to 40 minutes later, I threw up 11 times.
Oh Lord, okay.
Yeah. And from that moment on, just the smell of Jack makes me gag. You know, like your first drunk, that alcohol is done, right?
I mean, I think that everyone had that experience with like every single flavored vodka. Like R.I.P. Stoli Raz. R.I.P. I know. Oh my God. R.I.P. Stoli Vanilla. R.I.P. all of those. R.I.P. Do you remember Captain Morgan Parrot Bay? Why was anyone drinking Captain Morgan Parrot Bay? But nevertheless, R.I.P. Malibu.
Oh,
like
it's good though with certain things, but yes.
Well, it was good until you drank a bottle of it in high school.
Yeah.
And then you were like, you were dead.
Yeah.
You were like seeing things.
Yeah. So that was like my first like drunk experience with Jack Daniels. After that, I think I stuck to growing up on the East Coast. The people I grew up with, we were Hennessy boys all day.
Okay.
Hennessy everywhere we went.
Yeah, of course.
Then it evolved into the other alcohols, and tequila was always a shot. It was never something to drink or was.
Oh yeah, totally.
But now, fast forward into my adulthood, I somehow had in my hands a glass of Jack. I honestly do not remember the first time I drank Jack willingly. But from that point on, that became my drink, Jack on the Rocks.
Interesting.
It was really, really interesting. And that was all. So then from that point on, it evolved into the whiskeys and into the scotches and all that other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then fast forward even more, like I've become more health conscious and
Mm-hmm.
scaled back on the drinking. And for a while, I was like not drinking at all. And then I kind of got into like, oh, I kind of want to like get into tequila, like kind of probably like your friend, maybe not to that extent, but like
Mm-hmm.
I like getting to certain things for like the craft of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's cool. I like it. So I don't have a favorite tequila yet, but this year I started to get into tequila.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend Master Doble because it's like $50. But
I think I mentioned on Christmas as well is like I'm not a drinker of my own, but I have bottles that are
mhm.
like not fully drunk. So I do have a bottle of gin and tequila that I bought a couple months ago that are pretty good.
Yeah.
What is tequila? I think this is. Oh, let me see. I'll break this out.
I mean, should we just rip a shot right now?
Good. Have you had this Altos?
No, I haven't.
100% agave plata tequila. Pretty good. And then gin, because just we were impressed. I started to get into Japanese gin.
Oh, I've heard good things and I have not tried.
Yeah,
I do like
pretty good.
gin, as we discussed.
Right.
I got into it, I all of a sudden woke up and was like, I'm an elderly white woman. I should be drinking gin. Something isn't right here. No, but I'm 100%. Let's do a shot of tequila. I'm gonna get mine.
Yeah,
But I think it's a nice celebratory little thing to do. And I won't feel so
and I don't do shot glasses, so I do have my
yeah. I do have a shot glass actually, but oh, this is it.
Oh, okay. Mine should double the
Diamante. Because there's also other ones that are not Diamante.
Right.
But Diamante is always the answer. Whenever you're asking any question, the answer is Diamante.
Diamante.
So, this is like a very Russian style shot glass. They're not Russian. I bought them at IKEA, but like this is like the one dish that I think I've had. I have a set of them that has moved with me for like 10 years. Like I bought them in my first apartment.
Right.
Like shot glasses are one of the things that break the
I was just gonna say, yeah, give props to you that it's lasted that long.
Yeah, and so they're really Russian style because like this is the type of shit that Russian people do, but they're from IKEA.
Right.
So then what is your favorite whiskey?
Oh man. So I actually like when I was heavy into it, I was on a kind of like a middle shelf, maybe not even middle shelf, but like sometimes those are the best ones. It's pleasantly surprised, like, oh, that was really good. It's called Monkey Shoulder.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
One of my favorites. It's just so easy to drink. It tastes good. I love everything about it.
Yeah, it is really good. It is like, middle price point. You don't have to go crazy.
Yeah.
I did just finish a bottle of Oban though.
Oh.
Yeah. Shout out to Adam Zaff who sent that bottle over to me.
Nice. I have a Japanese whiskey here and I have a Macallan bottle. Funny fact is that like 2 years ago, I had 2 employees that gifted me Macallan 10s. I was like, this is cool. I could do this more often.
Be a boss, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've never gotten that from people who have like alcohol from people who have worked for me.
Yeah, because usually, like, especially like in a work environment, like you would get the traditional like $2 chuck wine.
Really?
Yeah, at least like the places I worked at, like maybe not necessarily $2 chuck, but like a cheaper, easy red wine that you can afford to give like 20 people.
Yes.
That's usually the type of liquor that I would have gotten as a gift in a work environment. So when I got the Macallan, I was like, oh wow.
That's a nice gesture. Yeah. What I do is I usually gift because there are a lot of favorites that I have at Trader Joe's, and I don't know if you're into Italian red wine.
So wines are also something new for me because before wine used to make me really sleepy. But after a long time of hard alcohol, wine is really delicious.
It is. It is delicious.
It's delicious compared to the hard alcohol. So I've been getting into it. So I don't know too much yet, but
Okay. Well, what I would say is that I got into Italian red wine a couple years ago when I was living in Miami. And because before that I literally like drank Pinot Noir.
Mhm.
And that was it.
Great choice.
And my like I would drink Cab, but like that's it. Those were the two.
Right.
And we drank a lot of wine, but that was it. And then I started getting more into Cab when I moved here. And then I got onto Italian reds. And the reason I also bring it up is that Trader Joe's, I will send you a picture of the label next time I'm there. They have a really great Amarone and a really great Ripasso. And the Ripasso is like $11 and the Amarone is like 20.
Okay.
And like I usually gift those because they are wines that people are like not super comfortable with. So like I don't know that they would even go to that section.
That's great.
But they're so beautiful.
Right. You're buying them a gift that they want, but they wouldn't buy themselves.
Yeah, like it's wine, so they'll drink it.
That's great.
They'll give it a shot, but like they definitely, it's not in the Cab and Pinot Noir and Merlot and Malbec. You know, most people's like foreign wine is like a Malbec.
A good friend of mine just gifted me a bottle of wine recently that came from a local vineyard up in the Bay, actually, in Los Gatos, where they grew up. And he has like his cases of it. He says it's really good. I haven't opened it yet, but I'm interested to try it. So we'll see.
Yeah. I went to Napa. I had the blessing and opportunity to go to Napa last year before all of this shit happened. And it was like a normal trip, non-COVID. We went to some lovely wineries. The people that planned it, the girl that planned it was a mensch because like, you know, those trips were like, I didn't plan shit. I just showed up. Here's my money. And like, we went to like 4 wineries or something. I couldn't off the top of my head name any of them right now, but it was really fun. But yeah. Okay. Well, I would like to propose a toast to friendship and to health, prosperity, love, and abundance and health in 2021.
Yes.
Cheers. So cheers.
Again.
Yeah. Thank you for joining me in a shot so I didn't have to take one myself.
Anytime.
No, well,
you can count on me for that.
Yeah, I'm a big Zoom happy hour haver. So even before I make my move to LA, we can always do this.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being on the show. I'm going to let you get back to your life. Actually, no, before we go, I want to throw some shade at your Chicago Bulls shirt. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, obviously I wore it with clear intention.
To trigger me.
Very clear intention.
To trigger me. Okay.
100%. That was the pure thought and idea behind wearing this beautiful shirt.
Listen, as much as I bleed for the Miami Heat, I would have hung up on you straight away if you were wearing a Milwaukee Bucks shirt today. But I have nothing but the utmost respect for Michael Jordan. And as Dax Shepard said in his episode on Smartless, when they asked him if he had watched The Last Dance, or I don't know of how it came up, but he's like, oh my God, I didn't watch it. He's like, I like snorted it. Like I couldn't get enough of it. And I felt the exact same way. Like, first of all, that was right when sports were not a thing at all. And like all of us were like, well, all of us sports fans were like,
we need something.
What is happening? Like, can I watch curling?
Right.
Like, is that an option?
Yeah.
Like, is curling sanitary because it's so cold? I don't know. Like, anyway, although I just had this thought, I've never verbalized it.
if the vaccine needs to be stored at super cold temperatures, that means that cold is good for the virus.
No, what the cold is doing is
Preserving it.
slowing down whatever reactions is happening to prevent it from whatever it could happen. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's just slowing everything down and freezing it, so it retains the structure that the scientists built to make the vaccine.
Okay. Well,
but with that said, which is a good thought, is that for COVID specifically, the cold had no effect. Like they thought that the summer would slow down the virus because the heat would kill it, but like that didn't do anything. You know what I mean? So like temperature didn't have much play
on the actual virus.
Right.
I do think though that in general, cold someone's here.
No, it's my daughter.
Hi. Say hi, Keeksy. Are you gonna bark at Mark? What are you gonna do?
No.
Okay. She likes to sit here for whatever reason. Whenever I do this, she loves to sit because I'm sitting in a chair, AC Slater style. Yeah. But I think cold also compromises the immune system a little bit. That's when people, right?
Yeah, long-term cold exposure will suppress the immune system. But like actually cold, which I'm sure you've heard of this, like, cold showers and
is good for you.
It's good for you,
Aubrey
right?
Marcus posted a cold shower video on Instagram, and I was like, this makes me feel like cold showers are super accessible and I should be doing it every day.
100%, because what it's stressing the body. And it's building up immune, your adrenaline's running. Like there's so much things. I don't know all of it, so I don't want to talk too much about it. But like it's your body, it's benefiting from it. But long-term exposure is not good for you. But it's like stress. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, it's like when you microneedle your face.
Right.
It's like you're making little holes
in for the capillaries to like reform and take everything exactly.
It's like the same thing with the cold showers. I think it's like a regenerative. It's accelerating like the regenerative process.
I'm a fan of that.
But yeah.
But back to The Last Dance. So I mentioned this to you, but like I was a diehard. So I grew up in Jersey, but I was born in Chicago. But the first 6 years of my life, because like 6 months old, my family moved to actually Southern California. So the first 6 years of my life, I spent in California before I moved to the East Coast. And when I moved to the East Coast, I was like 8, 9, and it's around the time where like as a boy, at least back then, like you started to like know about sports, be really interested in sports.
Yeah.
And I need to figure out who was I going to root for. Am I rooting for the Lakers? Am I not rooting for the Knicks? Like, who am I rooting for? Like, I don't know.
Well, at that time, and forgive me because NBA fansmanship for me doesn't reach back that far, but I feel like it was still okay to root for the Knicks at that point.
Yeah, 100%. But like, I mean,
but you had your choices.
But I had my choices, and I didn't know who to choose because, like, and that's when I was like, wait a minute, I was born in Chicago, so I should just be a Chicago fan.
Right. It's totally valid. I see what you're saying. It's totally valid for you. Like if I was like, oh, I'm a, like
if we were shit talking, I would totally be like, why are you a Miami Heat fan?
I lived there for years.
Yeah, but where did you grow up?
New York.
Yeah, so like we were like legit shit talking. I was trying to get audio, you'd be like, you should be a Knicks fan.
Yeah, but I was born in Ukraine, so I get an audible and I can choose. And I think that if you have residency somewhere for 4 years, that's an appropriate reason.
Yeah, I think it depends. The only thing where I will waver is baseball, just because I'm not a big baseball fan. But if Chicago teams are on, then I will be rooting for Chicago. But so I say that to say that like I've adopted the Dodgers as like
I see. Oh, okay, so you're a front runner, is what you're saying. That's what what I'm hearing is that you could be rooting for the Cubs.
I rooted for the Cubs. Actually, I rooted for the White Sox for the longest time, and I rooted for the Cubs because the first year I moved to LA, the Cubs played the Dodgers, and I went into work proud to be a Cubs fan.
I hope so.
I've adopted the Dodgers as like I can never root for the Lakers because I'm a diehard basketball Chicago fan. You see what I'm saying?
That's unfortunate right now too, but
it's okay because I'm proud.
Yeah. No, I think I completely love that. I mean, I did not band switch. Like
No, you started with the Heat.
Yeah, I started with the Heat.
Yeah. So you're
started from the Heat. Now we're here. Like I for football, I actually was an Oakland Raiders fan completely randomly. Maybe it was a portent for future times, but that's where I started my fansmanship, being an Oakland Raiders fan. And then they went to the Super Bowl. They won. They lost abominably to Tampa Bay. And then after that, I was just like, what's happening here? Why would I be? I'm a New Yorker, just gonna root for the Giants. And then the Giants had their like several Super Bowl wins against Tom Brady, a hated man. And
Floridian.
And then that continued. And then, my fansmanship started sort of petering out anyway for a variety of reasons. But I feel like, I'm a Giants fan because like I could have bandwagon hopped last year onto San Francisco. Here I am, but I'm just like, it's not gonna.
And like the thing is like too, like the way I see it is like when someone like yourself comes from a great sports city, how do you not root for that home team? You know what I mean? It'd be different if you came from like, I don't know, Oklahoma.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and then
you're a great sports city.
Well, the Thunder aren't bad, but like
everything else. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And like I agree. There are obviously like, it's just regardless of how good the teams are in New York, people are like dying, like Jets fans. There's this really funny, I don't know if you watched the Timothée Chalamet SNL.
No.
Well, you should watch. Like all of it was funny. All of it was really excellent. But there was this one. So I thought that maybe I just felt this, or another friend that I mentioned this to, she's like, it was essentially the Pete Davidson, Timothée Chalamet show because their chemistry was so excellent. But they did a skit and it was about Jets fans. And just look that up. And it was look that up. It's so funny. I'm like dead just even thinking about it. It's so funny. But it's true. Like even Jets fans who have had like one win in the past like 20 years are dying over the Jets. So, like it's the same thing with like the Chicago Cubs. Obviously I know that they won, but they sure shit didn't win for a long ass time.
Right.
So
but yeah, those are your real fans, real loyalty.
Listen, I know that sports are, we pay men and women to like put on a show and that kind of stuff, but bringing it back to your answer to question number 2, sports is what makes us human. It's like, it's actually egalitarian competition. Whoever is better wins. We're not going to talk about throwing games and, calling in favors right now. I will not go down that road. But in terms of, in general, it is whoever's better wins.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, people of all ilk are rooting for the same shit to happen. So we're watching the Super Bowl. I'm just using the Super Bowl as an example because, the most watched thing. But the Super Bowl, you can be pretty sure that most households in America that day have it on and feel a type of way about the game. And there's few things in life, like you said, I mean, up until this year, most people are doing varieties of things on Christmas and on New Year's. But this year, around the whole world, we know that most people are doing the same thing that you are.
Yeah.
Which is staying the fuck at home with your immediate family maybe a couple friends.
Hopefully eating some wings.
I'm gonna eat wings today. I'm gonna hang out with a friend tomorrow and maybe we'll get some wings. I was also like, I was in the same boat as you in our conversation earlier. Like I knew it was going to be New Year's Eve, but I had absolutely nothing lined up. And then a friend was like, do you want to go on a hike? And then this week, and I was like, Wednesday. And then I was like, wait, why not Thursday? It's not like I'm doing anything. And then today I asked, I was like, where are we meeting? But also, what are you doing later?
Yeah.
And it was another person that had no plans. So I was like, do you want to come over? Obviously come over because I have my family here. But yeah. So, you know, I think I think like it is completely within reason to just chill with those closest to you.
Yeah, 100%. Nothing wrong with that.
And on that note, I'm going to let you get back to your life. Thank you so much for being on our final episode. And those wings sounded delectable. And I can't wait to eat them.
Yes, next time you're in town.
And if we don't talk tomorrow, Happy New Year's.
You too. Thank you so much again.
Bye.
Bye.